So it gives me again great pleasure to talk to you how to procrastinate your procrastinations. Let's assume there is a 100 meters dash. 100 meters of dash, and a person is very ready to start his 100 meters dash. What would be the normal time for an adult to complete the 100 meters? Any answers? What will be the normal time for an adult to complete running 100 meters? What is the world record? 9.58, I think, right, by Usain Bolt in a world record championships. He was able to do it in 9.63 in the recently concluded Olympics. For a normal adult, not a Usain Bolt, it will take around 15 seconds? Yeah, 15 seconds. So let's assume, right, imagine ourselves on an athletic track which is 100 meters long. On one end stands a man ready to commence his race. And normally he will take around some 15 seconds to run that 100 meters. How can you make him run faster? Any ideas? How can you make him run faster than his normal 15 seconds? What can we do? Pardon? Okay. Right, what you can do is you can put a pot of gold at the end of the 100 meters. You can put a pot of gold at 100 meters, end of the 100 meters, and let him know that there is a pot of gold at the end of the 100 meters, and now it's a chance to grab it if you are able to beat your own old record. Now, how much time will it take for running that 100 meters? Any guesses? Initially, it was 15. Now, there is a golden pot available for him if he is able to better his own record. How much faster he will run? Any guesses? 12 seconds? So, 15 has been reduced to 12 seconds. Could there be a better way to do that? Yes, there could be a better way to do that. You can put a drooling mad dog behind him, right? You put a mad, drooling, mad dog behind him, and now ask him to run. How many seconds will it take for him to run the 100 meters? 8 seconds? 9 seconds? So what does the golden pot represent? What does the mad dog represent? This metaphor could help us procrastinate our procrastinations. So what does the gold pot represent? The golden pot represents the pleasure principle, the principle of pleasure. And the mad dog represents the pain principle, principle of pain. So dear friends, there are two forces molding our destiny which is helping us move into activity. One is the pain principle, the other is the pleasure principle. So our life is a series of incidents of us being motivated either by pain or by pleasure. So one of my young friends, Satish, is a student. His exam, a very important exam, is approaching. 1 month ahead it is. And now as he's about to commence his study, he hears a news that his cousin is going to be wed and is being invited for all the parties and around it, celebrations around the marriage. It will take 1 week. So he feels that no problem, I'll go for that 1 week, enjoy my cousin's wedding, come back and start my studies. So he goes back, and as soon as he comes back, he hears from his cricket club. He says, we are going entering the tournament. So we need to have you for practicing. So you need to dedicate 5 days for us. So he says that cricket is one of my passions. I love playing cricket. So still there is more time, maybe 2 weeks is available. So I'll engage myself in the game of cricket, come back and then resume my studies. So he goes into the game of cricket. And he comes back after 5 days. And then as soon as he comes, he hears there is a rave party going on. One of his friends calls him. So you need to spend 1 night with us. It's going to be really, really great. So he says, 1 more day. I'll go attend the party, come back, and then start studying. And then he goes for the party, and something is being served there. He eats what should not be eaten, and then he has a stomach upset, and he falls sick. He's not able to recover, and when he recovers, the exam is the very next day. So he'll be finding that his studies have been continuously procrastinating over and over, And what he has simply done is he has started doing what is easy for him. Right? Whatever is easy could be a pleasure principle. And studying for an exam could be a pain principle. So, attending the cousin's wedding, playing cricket tournaments, attending a rave party, all those are pleasure principles. Studying for an exam is looked after as a pain principle. So, normal tendency of a human being is naturally to choose pleasure over pain, and thereby he does whatever is easy for him and keeps on procrastinating. That is the basic psychology behind it. So, how do we overcome the procrastination? That's a very important question. And the psychology says that it's very simple. You need to change what you link to pain and what you link to pleasure. What is that we link now to pleasure? It is a party time, playing games, going and enjoying marriages. All those things are being linked consciously to the pressure, and studying for the exam is consciously being linked to pain. What psychology says is just reverse it at an attitudinal level. Just reverse it at a mind level. Start attaching pain to all those events which could help you postpone, and attach the pleasure. See yourself craving for studying. It's a mind gesture, and you can understand whatever the mind is able to conceive, physically we will be able to achieve. So it's a shift. The pain is being shifted to earlier pleasure-giving events, and pleasure is being shifted to earlier pain-giving events. One way to do that, if you are able to do that in your mind's eye, if you are somehow able to attach pleasure to a hard job, that is studying, what happens is naturally you move towards studying, and if you are able to attach the pain principle to whatever has been pleasing you earlier, you make that mental shift automatically. So what will help you as per NLP is a timeline therapy. So ask yourself down the line, just before the examination, the day before the examination, if I continue to be like this, how will I feel? That's called as a timeline therapy. Extend yourself, move yourself, and place yourself just on the day before the exam, and ask yourself, if I continue this mode of enjoying myself, how will I feel at the day before the exam? Naturally, you will be feeling pretty bad, and you attach that bad feelings to the distracting elements. And on the other hand, if you are able to assume yourself as having read sufficiently, the sense of confidence for facing the exam, if you are able to attach that to the concept of studying, it's an automatic shift. I would also want you to remember 3 or 2 animals, right? 2 animals to be very specific, which will help you to overcome the procrastination. Let's assume we are having a big dinner. A big plantain leaf, banana leaf is spread over us, and so many dishes are being served. 20 dishes, 25 dishes, everything is relishing. So you are very much tempted to eat, but as you are about to start eating, an announcement is being made. Please wait, one more dish is going to be served. And you anxiously wait for that. What is it going to be? Already the plate is completely full. Already the banana leaf is so tempting. What else could beat this? So with that curiosity, you look ahead, and in comes a vessel, a bowl. And inside the bowl, there is a live frog. Live green color frog. And that frog is also placed on your plantain leaf. And now the announcement comes. You can start eating, but you cannot get up until you have eaten the frog. That is the announcement. Let's say you are very much committed to the process of eating. You cannot say no. So what will be your options? You need to consume the frog, only then you will be able to get up. So you have 2 choices. You either eat the frog first and then consume all those things that are there, or consume all those things that are there at first and then eat the frog. Which would be the best option? Which would be the best option? Eat everything first, leave the frog together as the last part, eat it, or eat the frog first and then start consuming all the things. Which would be the best option? Please understand, you have been into a commitment. You cannot get up without eating the frog. Which would be the best thing? Obviously, the best thing would be to eat the frog first, or better swallow the frog first, right? Get done whatever is the hardest job first. So in this condition, yes, I agree there is a lot of enjoyment in going to a marriage party, in playing games. So you need not sacrifice them. On the other hand, if you choose to swallow the big frog first, get it ready, read it first, get it ready. Once that is out of the way, rest of the things you can enjoy with a free mind. You'll be able to literally enjoy. On the other hand, if you keep on postponing that reading to something else, you may not even be able to enjoy your cousin's wedding, your cricket tournament, your night party. Nothing you'll be able to really enjoy, because at the back of the mind, something which has to be studied is continuously keeping on pressurizing you again and again. So remember the animal. What is that? Frog. Eat the frog first. Then enjoy all the dishes that are available at your own pace. Okay. That is the first animal which I want you to remember with respect to procrastination. The second animal that we need to look at is an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? If at all you have to eat one. Right. You need to eat the elephant bit by bit. Howsoever big the elephant might be, you cannot swallow it as you do the frog. But you need to cut it into small pieces and then eat one by one. There is a powerful psychological principle applied in it. So when a person or when a student looks at a big book which has to be read, maybe 400 pages, he tends to look at it as an elephant, a big elephant. How do I handle that elephant? How do I eat that elephant? That becomes a question, and it could make him into even a depression. I can't do that. So he will start moving away from that. That will put him at a very tighter situation. On the other hand, what he can do is, he can bit by bit, it's NLP principle, it is called as chunking. Howsoever big an elephant might be, chunk it into small pieces. Then all you need to do is start with the first piece and start consuming one by one. I remember a very interesting interview given by Kapil Dev during the 1996 World Cup match. So the tournament was about to be started, and someone asked Kapil Dev, what is that India has to do for winning the World Cup? And Kapil Dev so famously said that India, before starting the tournament, should not think about the World Cup. If they think about the World Cup, it will appear as though it is a big elephant. Pakistan is there, Argentina is there, South Africa is there, a new entrant. So it will look like a big elephant. They will be demotivated. On the other hand, they should not think about the World Cup at this juncture. They need to think about what? They need to think about the next match alone. The next match alone should be in their focus. Next match is against Zimbabwe. So their focus must be shifted from the final goal to that first chunked piece. Once they are able to do that, they are motivated and they are able to immediately solve the problem. What happens is a few cases, right? One interesting client who has come to me for a treatment of depression. So what was suggested was a session of yoga was suggested to him. The session of yoga went for 40 minutes. So this guy had the problem that how can I do yoga for 40 minutes? I don't have that much time. I don't have that much intent to spend 40 minutes on doing yoga. So I understood that he was viewing the 40-minute session as a big elephant. So you need to chunk it down into small pieces and focus on the smallest piece. So I asked him, how can you chunk it up? Now, what would be the first piece? The first piece would be removing his normal dress and putting on the dress for yoga. I hope you are able to understand the point. The moment he does that, the first chunk, the first piece, he is able to get away from his normal dress and wear the yoga dress. Dear friends, you can understand that he should complete the yoga. The first critical step, if you focus on that, if you do that, the rest things becomes a breeze. You are able to walk through. So coming back to the student who is viewing the 400 pages of book as a big elephant, how does he see that? Don't see it as a book of 400 pages. See it as chunk it into small pieces. 5 pages today morning, 5 pages today evening, 5 pages next day morning, 5 pages next day evening. Chunk it into very small pieces. Try to focus on the first piece. It will be very easy. You will be motivated to finish it off. And then the process can go on. So Stephen King was a very famous author. who has written more than 1,000 or maybe 50, 60,000 pages. When someone asked him, how are you able to do that? Such a huge quantity, 60,000 pages of authorship. How are you able to do that? And he coolly replied, I never thought it's going to be 60,000 pages. For me, 2 pages in the morning, 2 pages in the afternoon, 2 pages in the evening. Day by day, every day. I hope you're able to get the concept. So don't look at anything as a big elephant. Chunk it into very, very small pieces and focus on the first chunk. You get motivated, you are able to procrastinate the procrastination. Finally, I want you to give one interesting technique which is called as a chocolate technique, right? Can I take that you love eating chocolates? Yes or no? Yes. So what you have to do is this. Will you ever procrastinate eating a chocolate? Will you ever procrastinate eating a chocolate? No. We always don't do that. We always go for the first chocolate. We always go for the second chocolate. So we never procrastinate eating a chocolate. So you can use that tendency of yours to eat a chocolate for getting motivated and for procrastinating the procrastination. So what you need to do is, you need to simply close your eyes, see yourself eating a bit of chocolate. See yourself eating a bit of chocolate. See yourself and start feeling that. The most important thing is in your mind's eye, from the visual level, it should go into the feelings level. See yourself eating a chocolate and try to have the sense of chocolate within your mind. Have that feeling of that nourishing, sweet chocolate in your mind. And as you continue to do that, change the picture. Replace the picture of you eating the chocolate with you reading a book, maintaining the same feeling, maintaining the same desire of having the chocolate, but now you start yourself reading a book. Now what happens is your brain is bypassed. Your cross-wiring is being done. What happens is you see yourself reading as powerfully motivated as eating a chocolate. I hope you are able to get that. Yes or no? Yes. So what you do is change the pain and pleasure principle. You are very committed to the pleasure of eating the chocolate. Simply change that pleasure to the reading of that particular book or doing of that huge task. So 2 animals. What are those 2 animals? One is the frog. The other is the elephant. So remember this. Eat the frog first. Chunk the elephant into small bits. Focus on the first bit. You will be able to complete it in a breeze. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.